talk. We want to hear from Lester and Leslie. Let's talk. We're on a journey, come along with me. Let's talk. We're bringing a new perspective. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk with Lester and Leslie. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, Lester.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty great. How are you?
I'm actually feeling really motherfucking good. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm not getting paid for this at all. I promise you. I hope to get paid at some point from products, but remember, so I've been on this soursop.
Yes.
The soursop bitters. I got mine specifically from Liquid Blends by recommendation of Craig the Writer Stewart, who is one of the podcast hosts for Fag Talk with T.S. Madison. And, you know, if you watch the show, you see he's in really good physical shape. And
very.
Yeah. And this isn't the first time I've heard him endorse like a supplement, natural supplements. He's a pescatarian himself. So, you know, he has a very tailored kind of diet, but he throws out like some of the supplements and things because he's like almost 50 years old. I think he's 49 and he looks really good. So lately he's been talking about the soursop that he's been taking, and not just him, but he'll usually share it with his friends. And these are folks that are, like I said, of a certain age, and they mentioned a whole bunch of health benefits. But the one that stuck was, they said, you know, if you got like knee pain or things like that, you know, you hear your knees crackle every time you get up. That was something that I had been experiencing for quite a while. So I guess the soursop is supposed to decrease, you know, inflammation. They say that's likely inflammation. I've only been taking this since Tuesdays. This is like the 4th day, and my knees feel great. I feel great. I had the best sleep last night. So, and it's been a while since I've had like uninterrupted sleep. Because normally I'm like getting up, using the bathroom, stuff like that. Like I sometimes, most of the times I don't sleep well. That's usually stuff like that is a reflection of, you know, how well your health is at. So last night I had like 6 uninterrupted hours of sleep. Which is really dope. The only reason why it could have probably been longer, but I had to get up for a meeting, and as I think I mentioned to you, I ended up going to bed really late last night. I had company over. So
Got a late start, but however, you slept great.
I slept like a baby for a good 6 hours uninterrupted. It was so good.
Yum.
So yeah, I'm feeling really good right now. And some of that green you brought over has got me feeling good as well.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, I mean, I do feel great, but now things are setting in, and I'm just like, fuck.
When you say setting in, what do you mean?
So today is the 5th anniversary of the day my mom passed away.
Okay. And by the time this is released, it'll be obviously a different day.
Yeah.
The time that we're actually sitting here talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's weird. I mean, especially this year, because this is the first year without both of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the first year without them being alive, or without them both.
Right.
And we're in the major holiday days.
Yeah.
You know?
What did you guys usually, I'm trying to remember, did you go down to Texas for the last Thanksgiving? I feel like you didn't go to both.
I went to Houston for Christmas.
Okay.
And that was...
But you had your own Thanksgiving.
I went to my daughter's father's my daughter's grandfather's house. Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
because I was telling you, like, watch your back, girl. Look, downstate Illinois is like a totally different. It's literally like a Bible Belt state in and of itself.
Yeah.
After you pass, like, I don't know, Aurora or something, you're like in Mississippi.
Yeah, yep. It does feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I remember you said you had a good time. I do remember like a connection. You talked with like was it his mom or his grandma?
His mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we lost a parent around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, his mom passed a month after my dad did.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when you say setting in, like you talk about like the realities of losing a parent.
It was just remembering that, around this time, it feels like that feeling that how I felt physically.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's like physical trauma, but linked to emotional trauma or whatever. Like anytime like I have that feeling and that's like connected to around this time of year or temperature or something that I'm seeing or whatever. And I get that feeling physically and it connects me to that time emotionally. And it's just, in the blues, in the blues around here.
Yeah.
And I guess like finally thinking like, like Thanksgiving, this is going to be the beginning of holidays without both parents.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're totally going to be leaning on each other. And when I say each other, I'm talking about like my siblings.
Right.
So
has anyone started talking about like possible plans, maybe
for the holidays?
Hosting something?
No, not yet. I know that my sister has been like dying to have Christmas at my house.
At your house?
Yeah, right. You know exactly.
Right? You have
and they have freaking kids too,
and cousins and
no, not we not.
You don't do that. Well, you know what it is. Let me take that back. I forget that you're the youngest amongst like elders.
Yeah,
I meant to say nieces and nephews.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
because that's enough to pack your house.
Their kids, just my siblings and their kids, and maybe my niece and nephew's kids. Like just is that because it's not that big.
Niece and nephew kids. My God, I know. You're a great aunt to somebody.
Yes. I am. I'm the great aunt.
I don't know about it. My great aunt is great. I have a surviving great aunt. My grandmother's sister. She still lives in down like around Freeport.
But the Bahamas or Mississippi or
Illinois, Freeport. Yeah, it's way out there.
There's so many. I don't know these names.
Yeah.
I don't. I know that every time I look at a map and I see like Cairo. Right. There's a Wakanda here.
Do we have a Wakanda?
Yes, we do.
I'm about to look it up. But no, this is the aunt that my mom, when she moved to Illinois, this is who she stayed with until she, got herself together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's wow.
She's
that's wonderful.
With her husband, and they're like the owners, or what do you call, leaders of a church down there too.
Oh.
He's a pastor and everything. Yeah. It's my great.
Yeah, I don't even have the grands anymore, so.
So you said that around this time you started, as you were describing it, I know exactly and I feel what you're talking about, because I used to experience that around this time myself. It really just, as you were talking, I was thinking about, when did the feeling kind of start to wane away? I think it was around COVID. And my dad left it in 2010. COVID was 2020. So
yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, it took a decade.
Yeah.
For a transition to happen. Now, I know our physical bodies change every 7 years, right? Or every cell in our body
Oh,
gets replaced
really?
every 7 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like we lose cells all the time.
So I'm literally like a whole new person.
You have a whole new set of cells right now than you had 7 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, so great. Because 31 was an awful year for me. And I finally shook that off. That's just like getting out of bankruptcy.
My God. My God. Well, speaking of bankruptcy, let's talk about some bankrupt ass people. No, today's topic, I'm very excited to talk about this. We're going to talk about friendships that have broken down, the breakdown of close friendships that ultimately ended or transitioned us into a friendship divorce. Obviously, we're not talking about you and I,
No.
but we have experienced, as we've talked about in a lot of our episodes, a lot of similar things. So we've obviously have had close friendships that have dissipated. The relationship is, transitioned away for whatever reason. And some of those people friends we share, like we both were friends with them, and the relationship ended. Now we're not, right? But I do have one or two outside of you that I've experienced myself.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first thoughts that came to mind, and I'm sure I would think you would agree, is that a really deep friendship is it's like on the same level as like a relationship, like a romantic relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like there's a partnership.
It is true kinship with somebody that you have a connection with or some kind of bond or common interest and you just vibe the most with. Like they're your comrade or confidant or broski, whatever you want to.
All of that.
Yeah.
Confidant was a word that you just used that stuck out to me because the first thing I think of, just for me, because I know I like to talk, is my closest friends I've told things to about like myself when was going through different periods in my life, and they were like the first to know. My closest friends knew about me dating a trans individual before my family did. Because when it happened, I was in Texas. I was over, 900 miles away and living his whole life.
So how did that detail get all the way?
How to get to Illinois?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, there shouldn't have any. Let me get our words straight. There shouldn't have been anything, knowing how far you were, that should be, talked about by anybody up where we at.
In Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that might have happened afterwards, but when I remember it happened in terms of like the information, you were there, you were one of the folks. Y'all came to Texas to visit me. And at the time, I want to say this was it had to have been during winter. It had to have been during winter in Chicago.
Yes.
Because by this time, that individual who I was dating was living with me. And you guys were coming to visit me. And like, I remember having this like anxiety about telling you guys like, oh, I'm not only am I dating this person, we're in a serious relationship, but they just so happen to be trans and we're living together. Yay. And you guys calling me, well, in particular, this one individual friend, I think was the one that set everything up. It seemed like she was always leading the charge with things. But I remember the week leading up to you guys coming up, going through so much anxiety, like, how am I going to tell this? And I remember I finally told you guys when you arrived to Texas.
Like in the car,
in
right?
the airport. I told the other friend, in the airport when she called and was like, "Hey, we landed, blah blah blah," and I remember saying like, "Oh, hey, yeah, just FYI, I've been dating this person for a few months, and they're living with me, and." At the time I said it's a guy because this was before her transition, but she was a very effeminate man. So, and I remember I told this other friend first because I knew she was going to spill the tea, and that she did, right?
Yes.
Literally, as soon as she got off the phone with me, she told you.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I don't have to have two conversations because, she's a tea spiller. Hence why one of the many reasons why that person is no longer in the mix with me, unfortunately. But, when it started off, it was pretty good. Like, we were in our 20s and I think we had all just kind of started hanging out together at different events and functions and birthdays or whatever.
Like where you met most of your friends.
From
So, okay.
and so that's one of the points I was going to make from my vantage point. One of the great things about her initially was that she was good at bringing people together. Like, hey, this event's going on. You're coming, right? So from my vantage point, it's like she was almost like my mom, where she likes bringing people together and having, a bunch of people connected. And I feel like that was a role that she played back then. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
None. But I met like friendships that I've had before where I was the one who totally just shat all over it. Yeah, I was not the best friend. Like, I was just not a good person at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm like realizing that there were some really good people who I was friends with who exposed me to all kinds of, beautiful things like culture, even the store that I go to get like all of my skincare is from Lush. I had like the greatest person ever that I just totally ruined that relationship with because I had insecurity up the roof and I masked my insecurity with alcohol. And yeah, I had really like a shed on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? From me being insecure and selfish, and I had no reason for that because they were the most supportive and just, even when I had a miscarriage, she gave me like so much information as to how it happens more often than we talk about it. This could be something or a reason why, things happen or whatever, because the gynecologist's office, when I found out that I had a miscarriage, they were kind of brutal. Like there was one nurse who was really beautiful to me and as far as her spirit. And, she sat me down and she realized that, I just having the news that I had a miscarriage and Paige was with me. She was like 18 months old.
Okay.
And, I'm in a room with a bunch of pregnant women who are just rubbing their bellies and shit. I'm just like, yeah, I guess Susan is dead. I don't want it, but she came and like talked to me and said, hey, this kind of thing, if whatever you need, let me know. These things do happen more than you think. Nobody really knows why exactly every case by, she was just giving me reassurance with science. So this friend, she gave me that information as well when she found out. She was like so supportive with that. She even took me out for my birthday, Yeah, it was beautiful friend.
Yeah.
But because I was insecure and didn't think that I was good enough, or
when you say good enough, you mean good enough to be her friend or just
yeah,
break it down?
because she had like everything, or she attained everything that I wish I could have. She was good at school. She, was good at like getting places to live that are nice and, finding good jobs. And she's had a hard life. Like there was some things that happened in her childhood that were kind of unsavory,
Okay.
but like she told me these things. Like she could talk to me about that.
Y'all were like,
Yeah, like it was the craziest thing in college. She was the one that came up to me and was just like, just started talking to me. And I was like, oh, okay.
okay, so you met her in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I kind of like, in a way looked up to her, but I also felt like, you know, when she was talking to me about like what mental health was, she was the first person really to break down those things for me. And
Okay.
that was around the time where there wasn't a whole lot of, vocabulary that was, out in the open for us to label these things. Because back then, when you heard ADD, you're like, oh, you got to be on like Ritalin or something like that.
Right.
So, she was telling me about like those things like depression and anxiety and like all those things. And me being ignorant, I'm just like, you have so much access to like whatever you want. Like, honestly, why? But like the more I, like pay attention to these things and read up on these things and just like, yeah, everybody's chemicals and their brains are different for different reasons. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm really sad about that friendship ending because that was totally my fault for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was just an awful, awful human being, and like the way that our friendship ended, I was totally showed my ass. Like just disgusting. And so I I'm really sorry about that. And like I don't even want to say anything to cause them any like trauma or whatever, because sometimes distance is just the best thing.
Yeah.
If you want to protect someone, you stay the fuck away from them.
Right. Are you guys still connected at all, like on social media, or have like mutual friends or anything like that?
Yeah, we do have mutual friends.
Okay.
But like, yeah, no.
For me, I've as you were talking, I'm trying to think like, is there anybody that I've ever like kind of been? I don't think I've ever been. And I hope this doesn't sound arrogant. I'm sure that I am the villain.
Best friend ever.
Let me tell you something. I know that I'm sure that I am the villain in someone's story, right? The thing is, I couldn't tell you who that person is.
Not you.
I could tell you folks who I have fallen out with, and they will likely say something like, it was my fault for whatever. That's why I say I'm sure I'm the villain in someone's story, but I consider myself a pretty reasonable person when it comes to self-assessment. And here's the thing. In everything that I do, especially when it comes to relationships, whether it be friendships or whatever, I make my damnness to show up authentically and at my, like the best way can, even sometimes at a fault where I have parking lot, like I put my own feelings, my own, boundaries, my own likes, or, like I've sacrificed pieces of myself to maintain a relationship, friendship, whatever. And
so
in
you're
my
saying
mind,
you had to shrink yourself in order to be able to show up in a friendship?
I've had to do that sometimes with some individuals, and those individuals are no longer in my life, but I do remember having to shrink or move myself out the way to give them space.
Why did you think you did that?
Well, again, in my mind, equated it to like, oh, this is me showing up as my, not necessarily my best self, but showing up for this person who I care about and giving them what they need or what I feel like they need to be their best selves.
So would you consider that, I mean, still a sacrifice? Or are
Definitely a
you seeing a
sacrifice.
sacrifice? Okay.
Yeah.
So you knew that you were shrinking or giving them a piece of that you
I
wouldn't
don't
get
think I called it
reciprocated,
shrinking
or
though at the time. I will say that.
okay.
And in terms of like what you're saying, like where's the give, where's the balance? Like I said, for the one that I was talking about earlier, who I feel like was a kind of like a connector and that kind of thing, there was a little guilt there. I'm not going to lie, right? Because this is someone who I reckon, first of all, there was someone who I've kind of known my entire life without knowing it. I knew my entire life.
Oh,
We had parents that served together. So
wow.
anyone who comes from like military, especially like Army Reserve life, they have like family day and stuff like that. So when we were younger, we would go to family day and meet a bunch of kids that we did. I could not tell you if a gun was pointed to my head the name of any one of those kids, except for obviously the person who I'm speaking of, because
That's the one you had a connection with.
later on, right?
Oh,
When I
so
went to high school,
reconnecting.
a
Yes.
reconnection, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't even know about the first connection. But they knew, they
That's
remembered me. They remember me from being young and toddlers and at family day. But if I have to be honest, like I didn't
sometimes it
realize.
be like that.
I was like, okay, it was one of the
It
moments where you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I remember you, girl.
Yeah, because actually, I'm gonna tell you, like the relationship I'm in, I do not remember him at that writer's table.
But he remembered
But he
you.
was there and he remembered me.
Yeah.
And there is a video of that. I can't
Mhm.
find it anymore. But like there is so much proof. And I'm like, wow, where was I at?
Mate, your head was in the game.
Very down in it with the blinders on.
That's what I would equate it to in terms for me and this person that I'm talking about. I was too young, I think, to really like we're talking about, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7, like real
God.
young. Like I don't
Who
remember
remember? Well,
if we had
first
family day
grade.
once a year, right? In the Army Reserve, they used to have family day once a year.
For how many years were you going?
I've gone to a handful of,
So not in a row.
right. I mean, there was maybe a 3 or 4 year back to back, but you know, you can't make a family day every day. Sometimes people have, Army Reserve was like what I would equate to like me singing doing wedding gigs. It's a weekend thing, it's not your primary.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can be called
But you have to
at any
show up
time, but you
like
do have to
every
show up every
other
weekend.
or
There was
whatever
a
your
check
contract.
in.
Uh-huh.
So there was a cadence, but it wasn't a full time cadence, at least not for my parents. I think you could have the option to work there full time, I think, for some folks. But my parents, they had other jobs. My dad was a cop, my mom worked for the FAA. So, but yeah, so for me, that was just like a fun childhood experience that kind of came and gone. It wasn't like school. But, anyways, this person remembered me from those events. I didn't necessarily remember them. And we're in high school. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I know you. We kind of befriended each other, but then we would be in spaces where I didn't recognize it in the moment, but afterwards and reflecting, I was like, oh my God, this person was bullied. And when I recognized that, it gave me this level of grace when it came to dealing with them. In in certain cases, like I said, where I know I would shrink myself so that this person could have their light shine. That's why when things went south with with the situation, it hurt me so much because I'm like, I was really down for you, and you kind of threw that away too easy. But anyways, But it was great at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember like with my friend, we went to like improv shows. We
Hmm.
we
The one
did
from college.
yeah, and we went on like a lot of adventures that were really fun, but I obviously had my vision of what I wanted my college experience to be,
Hmm.
which was something like American Pie.
One big party.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was such a dick. But like,
Well, don't feel bad because I feel like
no, like I'm
a lot of kids went
understanding.
to college with the idea like
And I was one of
anytime.
those assholes. Yeah. Yeah. And I was one of those idiots. And obviously, like, I know now I can look at that right now and be like, bitch, what the fuck was your problem?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have been way better student, way better. Like, I could have had the things that I should have had, but I decided to stump myself because of this vision that I thought I wanted,
Hmm.
my experience instead of taking the honest effort and experiencing those things
Hmm.
and, taking it that time of my life seriously, learning how to think, learning how to analyze, well, pretty much learning how to think,
Hmm.
and analyze things with an emotional intelligence, to question things, to find out how best to show up in your community, you know? So, like, I didn't take advantage of that time. I went to a social justice college. Like, that's just,
Roosevelt. Oh, wait,
yeah.
a justice card? Never knew that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Is it because like the folks that graduated from there got involved with a lot of social, or is that like the 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 roots or the history of that? Because I didn't know that.
yeah, it is. There is history behind that, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I wasn't prepared to answer that, but that is something that drew me to that college is the university was the social justice aspect of it.
Mm.
So I didn't take advantage of any of that because I wanted to be Stifler. Well, maybe not like that guy, but that was
The,
just the
the
name that
female
popped out.
Stifler.
Female stiffer. Um,
Did
yeah, that was dumb. I won't say that ever again anymore.
it?
Um, so like that's just something that just popped in my head as to, that like really stupid type of, cult college
Hmm.
experience that I wanted to have when I was finally old enough to drink.
Yeah.
But
You know,
whatever.
you probably would have been able to live into that if you chose a college that was further away from home. You
Oh
know that?
man, that would have been horrible.
That's what happened with some people that I know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the further away you could go, the
The
more partying you can
more
do.
like because you don't have to answer to anybody,
That's right.
that close. They can't just call.
Yeah.
Nobody can just call your parents and be like, "Hey, come pick up your kid out of these bushes."
Right. So let me ask, with this friend that you're talking about, did you see the relationship being sustainable? Did you see, like, were you in it for, did you even think about that? Like, we're going to be friends forever, you know?
Well, I thought that we were going to be friends that like well into our adulthood. I
Okay.
thought, but I mean, most of the breakdown was because of me
Yeah.
and, just being insecure and not thinking that like, if she likes me to want to hang out and do stuff, then yeah, like I'm good enough. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then show up for her too, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just obsessed with my expectations of what I wanted and
Hmm.
forcing things to be that. And that was not what was in the line with, my
Your
my
friend.
trajectory, like my path. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? These were the right people to be friends with if I
Mm,
wanted to be on an elevated path,
got it.
because they were. They were
Okay.
they were doing, things, they were being honest to their existence.
So is that where the insecurity part comes in? Because I kept
Yes.
wondering, like, what do you mean? What made you feel insecure? It
I
was
thought that
there.
I should be something that I was not really supposed to be. So I was trying to like do so much. I wasn't really accountable for a lot of the shit that like I did or said.
Mm-hmm.
Like just thinking about it, I'm just like, oh damn, there was an excuse for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with the friends who I thought were better than me. So I did a lot of masking because most of the time I thought that, I was less than, or my behavior was definitely less than.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I think at one point they just wanted to hang out with me because they felt sorry for me or some shit. I don't know.
Mm.
But they were that good of people to want to come through for me
Yeah.
when, they thought that I was at a low low,
Okay.
But until it fucked that up.
When I think about like what we're talking about, this topic of like friends that are no longer, I only have really fallen out with three individuals. And I can say for the first one, like I said, not trying to be arrogant or anything, I really tried with all three of them. Boundaries were crossed with each one that like there was a moment in time, like for instance, the one I was talking about, which would have been the second one, by the way. And if we're keeping score, this is the second of the three. I remember I was in the hotel room in Nashville because I was on a work trip and something had happened. And I remember thinking to myself, Lester, if you let this one breeze by like you've done before with other situations, it's only going to get worse. And if you're, this thing that happened affected not just me, but my partner who I was dating at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, if it gets worse, then it will get to a place where it's this friend versus your mate. And if you're talking about marrying this person or being, you know what I'm saying, the things, you got to nip this in the bud today in
Mm-hmm.
Nashville. It has got like I actually had a flight on my way home. Like, and usually I'm not gonna say usually.
But
I
in
have
that
been
instance,
I have been known in the past to avoid conflict. As crazy as that may sound.
yeah.
Because I remember in the last episode we were talking about like we got to be able, like when the
See
things
how
in the
you fight.
relationship, I got to see how you fight, and that is true. However, that does not mean that I am one to like usher in conflict. Um,
So you were never punchy, like you
Never
never.
punchy. I'm
Oh, that's
never punchy.
crazy.
Like at least not until if ever someone has experienced me and has been punchy, it's usually because fight or flight. I'm like in a place where I feel like I have to defend myself. But no,
Not like
tradition,
petty for no reason or.
not petty for no reason, not starting stuff for no reason. Like if it's something that I'm involved with that seems negative, you got to have a conversation with me if you think like I'm the one that started it. Cause I can literally draw from point A to where we're at now. I can tell you how things happen from my perspective. Now, whether you agree with how I reacted or whatever, that's one thing, but I'm never one to shoot the gun first ever. So so I say that because I remember thinking to myself, you have a flight going back home, right, in a few hours. Old Lester that wasn't into, establishing boundaries would have likely waited and tried to push it. Just like the story I just mentioned, when y'all came to Texas. I did not tell y'all until y'all flew
Well, I
here.
didn't hear it out of your mouth until the car ride, but I
Right.
heard it. You're
Right.
getting
You heard it
farmed.
secondhand, but nonetheless, that's at one point that's how I used to deal with conflict, is like try to push it off to the very
Where we
last
don't have
second.
the autonomy to respond.
They either have the autonomy to respond, or I didn't even think about it like that. Even though the arrangements would have been the same in terms of how you guys, because I only had a 1 bedroom. It just so happened that I had
Right, it
that
would have
additional person in that bed. So for
and
me,
a
I'm like,
dog.
did I have a dog at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely then after. This had to have been like January,
Yes,
February,
it was.
because I remember I got that dog for her
It was a
for Christmas.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, anyways, like that's normally how I used to deal with conflict, is push it off until the very last second. But I remember having that conversation with myself before I sent that text message that, Lester, if you allow this to go, like it was very weighty, and it felt very like you got to deal with this now, not push this off. And so that was that situation. The first situation was I had a really good friend in high school, and when I started going off to college and really getting into like my art and music and, things like that, this person became jealous. And it was weird because, like, so, ro- our colleges were right next to each other, Roosevelt, Columbia. Columbia is an arts college. So they, had open mics and all these like live type of, I love college. Oh my God, sitting here thinking about it's giving me goosebumps. Like you could literally go out and it was always something going on in terms of art and music and performance, and you run into all these creatives everywhere on the street.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of living on campus the first year. So, it's so weird. I lived on campus the first year, and I feel like I did the most networking later on. I feel
When
like
you weren't living down there?
when I wasn't living down there. I was, in a band,
Were you mostly like to just stay in your
stay like in 2 weeks later, which
Me
was a
too.
nice
Me too.
apartment.
I
Yeah,
had floor to ceiling windows. You saw where I was.
me too.
Yeah.
You went to my place too.
There was like a span of
It's an
4 or
apartment
5
complex now,
days.
by the way.
Oh, this all full apartments now.
Yeah, it's not student housing anymore, but anyways, and it should be, because that place
You
had a
could just rent
pool.
out some of those rooms. Anyway,
Yeah, it might be cheaper now.
things are cheaper. What
It might be
in this
cheaper now.
economy?
Well, not in this economy. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like there was so much that like we have exposure to. That was so great.
In my build, see, so when I say like
Yeah, so there would
creativity
be like
was
3 to 4
everywhere.
days where I would just stay in my room,
Mhm.
and not do anything
much,
because
yeah.
I was in there for the summer. I only had like 1 or 2 classes,
Okay.
and yeah,
And you were living down there.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't start to do more, actual like work until I moved out.
Yeah. See, I think too is because like it's our first, year
Well,
or
did you
two.
see the first dorm that I lived in?
No.
Okay. It was the
Where's the
size of a
first one?
prison cell that I had to share with one other person. Like, it is the same size as a prison cell.
Right.
It was right. Remember the prison?
So
That's right over there.
it wasn't the universities.
Not then. This was before this was being built. Like they were building it.
Okay.
My first year of college. It was completed for when you came in after me, and then that's when I moved over there. That was the first time that they opened. Yeah, that they were opened up to residency. So this is my second year of college.
Mm-hmm.
I was a sophomore moving over there.
Okay.
But my freshman year of college,
you were in the prison cell.
Yeah, which has also been renovated since,
course.
then obviously, which thank God, because there was like bars on my windows.
Oh my God. Were you on the first floor or something?
No, I think I was on like the 7th floor.
So too high to climb. That's funny.
Or, to jump out. Or
like if people want to commit suicide.
Sure.
Well,
or get fresh air.
well, so the dope thing about where I was living, the 2 East 8th, even if I didn't leave, like they would have freaking open mics on like the seventh, sixth floor that you could go. Like they had events in the building that you could participate in. I remember I did an open mic in that building and
Yeah.
met some people there that went to different.
It's
The
weird how things
space
work
was
out.
just
It's
crawling with things to
creatives and
do,
yeah, things to do.
regardless of even if you wanted to stay. So, like, it seems like these events would happen, and a lot of times, like, I would just run into them. Like, for instance, the open mic in 2 East 8th. I didn't know that it was going on. I forget how I stumbled across it. I wasn't even like dressed for it, and went down there,
Probably on the way home from the grocery store.
something like that. And actually ran to a good friend who I'm friends with now on Facebook now. Shout out Eric Sears. But I would do those things and then later talk to my friend about, oh, this cool thing I just stumbled upon. And this person would think that I was intentionally not telling them about these things because, you know, I didn't want them involved with like the creative stuff I was doing or whatever. So that ended that relationship because of jealousy. And it's like, look, you can, Columbia is an open enrollment school, right?
You can join too.
You could join too. This is not something that is gate kept. You could join too. It may not be that way now, but when when I was in college, it was open enrollment for whoever. So that was that one, and then of course the third one they tried to kill me, run me over with a car.
Yeah.
So of course that's definitely crossing the boundary.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, what a night that was. But so those are the only three that I have, you know, that come across when I think about like friendships and these all fit the same category. These are people who I thought I'd be ride or die with forever. Meaning like if you ask me, have you actually seen a future with, of course I think about, and we've had conversations with number two, where it's like, oh, what are we going to be doing at 40? What are we going to be doing at 50? So these were all relationships that I thought would last that did not.
Now, was there a point within the relationships where you thought, oh, this isn't sustainable?
There, you know what? This is like therapy.
Oh.
There have been moments in each of those situations where something has happened that was, to use your word, unsavory. But just like in my romantic relationships, like when they come across, you kind of just put it in the back of your mind, like, you have, this is the part of a relationship where you have to, put in the work that is required on your end. And you think that work is taking things, boundaries being crossed, whatever. You think that, okay, this is a part of the work. So I'm just going to put it in the back of my mind and we're going to continue this, this relationship. And when I say put in the back of my mind, meaning even if we had a conversation about it, it may have been unresolved. And with it being unresolved, being okay with that and just moving on from that when you shouldn't have.
So I guess for friendships, what matters to you most is reciprocity.
Reciprocity, for sure.
Or is more like that a meter of the type of friendship or where the friendship is headed?
Well, so for me, and you might be a little different, but for me, when I am locked in with someone, when I'm committed, then that's when some of the rules and the boundaries start to get gray. So if I'm locked in with you, I might excuse instances of reciprocity that I would demand from someone else who I may be building a relationship with that I'm not locked in with. So you get to get away with a lot more
Oh.
than
Well,
others,
I guess that's because you've come to an understanding of who that person is,
or who
right?
you think that person is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you know them a little better and you understand, okay, they tripped up. It's like, whatever. That's what they do kind
Yeah.
of thing. Okay.
Especially with number two.
Uh,
Yeah. I will say that each of these individuals are unique. They're not all the same, except for the fact that number one and number two actually grew up walking the blocks away from each other. And I don't know if that has anything to do with how both of those relationships ended or the fact that they have ended. But yeah, number one and number two grew up physically together in the same area. But anyways, no correlation, no relation. Um, you got a level of grace from me that nobody else would get.
Dang. So I
You
guess
got
I must be fucking up a lot.
you have a family level of grace in my boundary meter that no one else
You
would.
know, so if you gave me a performance review, obviously I'm graded on a curve.
You talk about you or
Me.
no? Not I'm not talking about you. I'm
But I'm
talking
just
about the
saying
top.
though,
We're
I
talking
thought
about my
that like
top
I
three.
would be the friend
Mm-hmm.
that you would, you consider close.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're saying that you're lifting up boundaries, or you're making them gray, or you're letting them get away with you're letting them get away with more than what you would a new person.
Right, and I'm talking specifically about those three people because another correlation too is these are relationships that started like that locked in happened very young, right?
Okay.
So if you're asking like if there's been instances with you that I have no, we have not yet got to a place. I say yet because
Oh shit.
anything could
Yeah,
happen,
right. Like
but we have not gotten to a place where I'm like like I don't have anything in my back pocket or the back of my mind that I've had to store away with you.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's probably how we made it this far on this
Probably like we
podcast.
literally legit have had no beef
Mm-hmm.
with each other like ever.
That's right.
We just talk about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Communication and those kind of things. And then also too, I think our either no, actually that because number three, that relationship budded after you and I's did, but I think, and we talked about this, I think on the first episode, I think you and I's relationship really kind of, we're talking about the rosebud kind of, blossomed definitely after high school, somewhere like in the college area is where I think it really kind of
Yeah, because it was very segmented.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't like hanging out with each other every day.
We connected obviously in the arts but that was year round.
Yeah. And it wasn't like, I mean, obviously it feels like we're like closer more,
mm-hmm.
But like before, but we were getting to know each other and like different, and that's probably why we're still friends, because you didn't know me as much as an asshole as I really was.
That's right.
Or maybe you did.
No, I didn't. I honestly did not.
Okay.
I just thought you were a cool art kid. I'm a cool art kid. So, and really, I
was not embracing that as my, like during that time.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, I need to get a job to make money.
You talk about high school?
Well, no, college.
Oh, I'm talking about
in the time
school.
After college. Okay, yeah, because I did. Yeah, I was the cool art kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Who played like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but no, those were the situations with those three. So the answer that, yeah, I just like in you and I and me and my other friends, like I see. And think about sometimes what does the future look like, and sometimes have my own pictures around what it looks like, So yeah, any friendship, just like like I said at the beginning, I approach my friendships the same way my romantic relationships, where I'm not just dating you just to, I know they say you meet people and some of them are seasonal, some of them are a lifetime. For me, everyone who enters the gate, lifetime. I don't have anybody enter my gate and think, oh, we're just going to be friends until, I turn 30 and I'm going to have to let you go after.
Or until I hate
No.
you.
Yeah. I don't go into the gate thinking about the end,
Oh, yeah. I
if that
I
makes
think I
sense.
need to make a gate. I don't know if I have one. I think I do have a capacity though. Like right now, I know that I would like to be a better friend, especially to the ones that like in my middle age. I'm realizing that yeah, my friend circles are small because a lot of times I don't have the capacity to like be as close of a friend as someone who I didn't have like a history with. Because a
hmm
lot of the friends that I have now are the ones I had known as a teenager
hmm
or someone in my 20s.
Yeah.
So like it's just like those friendships are kind of locked in at the moment
Right.
and they're in the front of my brain. I have so many people I need to try and connect with again though, because
hmm
I do really genuinely love those people.
hmm
So, but I know that at this point, it would not serve me well or anyone else well to for me to like try to make new friends.
Yeah. Well,
That sounds so bad though.
that does sound bad. Let me tell you.
But it's
I'm gonna tell you why that sounds bad to me because, here's the other thing too. I don't even think that you believe that based on how you
I
live
don't
your
because it's
life. You
not
don't.
really.
You say that out your mouth, but
But yeah, it's
you
not
and I do the same
translating.
thing.
Yeah.
Where, like, for instance, when I joined my last church, I have a gang of friends. I have more friends from my church group than, the ones I've carried over from childhood. It's a whole group of them. And, I have space for them on the, friendship pie.
Yeah.
Then there's folks that a few that I ran across in college that, and I have space on the friendship pie for them. I feel like the friends that you have first. So let me tell you this real quick. The singer Monica, right now, Brandy and Monica are on tour, and I can't wait to hopefully catch them in Detroit. But Monica infamously talked about this on her Instagram where she says, where people talk about like no new friends, like my best friends are the ones who've been there forever. She's actually complete opposite. She says that life changes and you will end up befriending and in some cases replacing those old friends, those ride or die from where the ones that you grew up with, and that they end up getting sometimes replaced by folks who are in your life and the lifestyle and the things that you have going on currently, and they end up being the strongest, in some cases, sometimes the strongest friends and connections that you have because they're meeting you in the stage of life that you're currently in.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, let me rephrase that because now that you have said that, which is like completely true, because I have a new set of friends,
hmm
and that's from doing Five Lesbians Eating a Quiche, that
Right.
traveling show.
hmm
Like I love them all, and in
That's
fact,
some dope girls.
we're go- like they're hosting a Halloween party tomorrow. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll be over there, and like and then we're also all doing a traveling show together again for next year.
Nice.
So like you said, and I met my main friend from there in the theater
hmm
at Western Springs.
See.
And so I want to say that I wish, or I'm going to try and show up for my newer friends, especially the
Mm.
ones that I like and the ones that I love and the ones that they follow my mind from time to time. And sometimes you're just like, should I message them? Are they going to be like all weird about it? Like,
Yeah.
am I Am I being weird about it? Yes. So that's when I probably should send the message. So I guess the lesson is for me to just send the message whenever they come across my mind, because maybe they need to hear from somebody. You know, I'm usually, and the reason mostly why I don't usually reach out first ever is because so I'm just like, I'm getting better at it, but like
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I'm just not like the one that reaches out first mostly is because I am so in my head a lot
Hmm.
and like being on my own up here. And it's like, you know, I try to do as much as I can.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a trauma response. I don't know. But like,
Could
you know,
be. Well,
just all the things that I have to worry about, all the things that I have to do to survive
I don't
here.
know having a child, what that feels like.
Yeah, right.
I
Because
get burdened over
before,
some small stuff. I couldn't imagine if I had like a whole life that I was responsible for and I could
yeah,
get in trouble if I fuck up,
and hope that
go to
they
jail.
survive,
Yeah.
after I die. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to make sure that they're going to be okay in their future, because obviously it looks a little weird right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts me into a panic too. So yeah, I'm learning how to underthink.
Come on, underthink.
I did not coin
I
that
knew a girl
phrase.
that used to say overstood, like instead of understood.
That gets you
Shout out to you,
1,000%.
Sylvia Davis. That's
Ah,
a dope the young lady who I used to work with.
overstood. Nice.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, and I learned the word underthink.
If I can ask not to get in a crazy place, but that friend from college who you said that you kind of muck things up with,
Hmm.
if you had the opportunity to apologize, would you take the opportunity?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Let me take it a
apologize
step.
now.
Let me take a step further.
I'm so fucking sorry.
Wait, let me take a step further. So you said if you had the opportunity to apologize, you would. Would you create the opportunity to apologize? So let me explain what I mean by that.
Hmm.
So number 3 on my list, we know that, and I'll get back to that on my end, but we know that there's certain people who we would keep the door open for them if they come at us the right way, right?
Of
Like there's a
course.
little bit of like, even though you did this terrible thing to me, I still remember the friendship that we had, the connection that we had. So the door isn't as Nene would say, the door is closed on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The door isn't necessarily closed. We'll just keep it cracked a little bit.
Yeah.
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 So if you found out or you felt, sometimes it's a feeling that crack is, whatever it is that led you, would you like, take the opportunity, seek this person out, or maybe they run across your Facebook under the suggested friends list and it keeps showing up day after day after day. And it's like, is God telling me to reach out to this person? And
Well,
then you send a message to them. Like that would be you taking the opportunity of sending the message. So would you take the opportunity to apologize to them directly?
okay, so here's the thing. They have come across like one of my socials
Uh-oh.
before once though.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
Not enough for a premonition.
not enough for that. Not enough for that. But enough for me to reflect on, how horribly I acted.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? However, like in this situation, I caused so much trauma to the
Mhm.
point where it's just like, I need to, stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
The best thing for me to do for this person is to just keep my
Stay
distance.
away.
Yeah. And just love them from where I'm at. And just like, look, I'm acknowledging that I was just a horrible person. I'm acknowledging the fact, like, for as much as I want to disclose with keeping their privacy,
Sure.
is just like, I was a horrible
Me too.
person.
Hopefully nobody. figures out who I'm talking about. But anyways, if they hear this, they'll definitely know who I'm talking about. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, I'm acknowledging that I was not a great person. I was a horrible friend. I had my own issues that like my me problems that I was medicating with or coping with it not in the best or healthy way. And it spilled on into a friendship that could have been really cool because I actually thought that they were like the best person
Mm-hmm.
ever. And I didn't make that evident to them like at all because
Mm-hmm.
of some weird headspace that I was in. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm, that's as far as I can like take it. But I feel like um I do not want to cause any trauma or to have anything like come back to them. If it's meant for them to hear this, then,
They'll hear it.
doors open. Obviously, but my phone number changed, but like doors open.
But your social media has
Yeah,
not.
it's like whatever.
So that means like if this person sent you a friend request, you would accept it.
Yeah.
Why'd your eyes shift?
Well, because I'm just like, that would be free. And I'm just
Because
like,
that goes
because
into that
I
question
really
about the
don't think that they
opportunity.
would.
Well, see,
That's why I'm like,
that's your own. That's your own. That
yeah,
could be your own self talk. Yeah,
yeah.
they could be thinking a totally separate thing. Like, oh, man, I had this really dope connection with this girl,
But she was an
and
idiot. Yeah.
yeah, and she did some fucked up. Because here's the thing: as you're learning or you're hearing from me right now, these three individuals, even that first one, the door is cracked; it'll never close. The but you have to approach it right. It's been over decades since you talked to me. So and I remember like yesterday how everything disintegrated with each individual. So, you know, there's something that I'm looking for if you would want to mend things. But here's the thing, I'm also content with the fact that if it never mends, I'm all right.
Mm,
I'm okay. Like I'm not going to seek you out. So if you would ask me the same question I asked you about,
yeah.
would you, take an opportunity for those three individuals? I absolutely would not. But if they
They
took
came
an
to you.
opportunity, yeah, I would hear them out for sure. Because with those individuals, we had a dope connection. I saw futures with you all to some degree, you know. So and I'm one of those people that I believe that everybody deserves a chance, regardless of how terrible you've been. So,
I mean, if like obviously if that person was the one who hurt me, well,
hmm
not hurt me, but I am the one who hurt them.
yeah,
You
hmm
know what I'm saying? It's just like I guess for my situation, nuance. Like I don't think that it would be. I don't think that it would be fair or right or helpful or. I think it would probably hurt her more if I try to contact her now
right.
within the, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, so
Because that was
you
some,
mentioned it, nuance. I don't
yeah.
know. I'm only speaking from my personal perspectives in situations. Because you could be right. I don't know what happened. You could have, I don't know, you burned her mama's picture or some shit. I don't know.
Oh no, just go on a bender in like a
You don't have to
different
go to the DJ.
town. No, you didn't. Let me calm down.
But I'm just saying, I don't know the situation. Every situation is different. But just the kind of person that I am, you know, I have not, I've had some egregious things happen to me, right? Things that I felt were very terrible. In some cases, if we were going to talk about the church I just left, harmful to me. And hopefully we'll have an episode where we dig into church hurt. But for those friends, those three particular individuals I'm talking about that I was like best friends with, people who I've called best friends, who I know they've called me best friend in certain conversations, the door will always be open and cracked. And with I know with number two, they know how to. I told them I started to learn boundaries around that situation, and I was very explicit. Is it in writing? If you pull up, old text messages, I explicitly laid out what I'm looking for in terms of reconciliation and making this right, indemnifying the situation, and it's still there in writing, and it will stay there until it's done.
Mm.
Yeah, just that simple. So that's the lesson for me is I found out that with the friendships that dissolved, that with that's the connection with all three. When I decided to establish my boundaries, that's when I got to see what the friendship, I guess, was really,
Or how sustainable
how
these
sustainable it
friendships
was.
are.
And that's part of, I guess, the hurtful thing, that I would have to sacrifice my boundaries to continue having had a friendship with these individuals. And you shouldn't have to do that.
Right. You should not, because like there's a mutual respect for people who you consider close. You don't want
It's
to hurt
supposed to be.
them. There's supposed to be an understanding. And I guess that like in our middle age, we, our friendships look a lot different,
Yeah.
And
they should. Our friendship should not look like how they look when we were in our 20s.
Or in
or
high
teens.
school. Or in high school, like, well, because it's weird because I have a bunch of friends from high school.
But that's the thing, those friendships. I was just thinking about when you were talking about it earlier, not to run this on, but like you were talking about, like, you do have friends from back then. And
I have a lot.
And I thought about, what'd you say, the divorcee club? I thought the first wives
the divorce
club.
wives.
Yes. First wife club, little kind of simplest thing that you got. I thought, oh my God, that is so freaking cute. And some of them are folks that I know, from high school.
You know them all, yeah.
Yeah. So so that's a great example of what I'm talking about. Y'all weren't divorcees in high school, but you all are at a similar stage in life.
That's why we're still friends, is because we evolved together, and that mutual growth keeps us in touch with, or wanting us to keep in touch with each other.
That's right.
So that's the thing. Even with one of my oldest friends, like I've known since we were in preschool, like we were 3 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like throughout our we had children, we were married, first marriages, we all you never get it right the first time. Like, honestly, it'll be right.
Just kidding.
We learned some lessons. Yeah, we're like, whoops. Don't.
That's right.
Yeah, so, first is the worst. But
oh my God.
Total respect for my ex-husband. Like, whatever. We get
y'all in a good place.
Yeah, we are in a good place. But like, because of our evolutions on a mutual level, we are still friends because we know each other on like during and throughout those evolutions, and we can understand each other, like what it's like to have kids, what it's like to be in like a attached relationship as an adult, like, how to get over that.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Taxes is enough to bond over.
I know, right?
My God.
Yeah, home ownership, things like that. And it's just like, yes, this is why I'm still friends with these people, is because we have all grown through our evolutions like the same. Like, well, we have similar evolutions that involve like us growing up. You know what I'm saying? Because if you still have that one friend who was out like, partying, you kind of get exhausted with that person.
We're not even in that stage. Like, my God, I can't say that there is a party scene that I enjoyed in my 20s. It was the piano bar scene, like live music. Yeah, because I was a part of the scene myself. So singing at the joint and stuff, I loved that.
Oh, that was fun.
Those scenes.
I was in that, yeah.
Because they used to have us hemmed up there for hours for like chicken change, and
You were
I
there till close up.
enjoyed it. We would close down the bars, the piano bars
Yeah,
that
that
I
was that was
sung at.
fun time.
Fun times. I couldn't imagine doing that shit now.
Absolutely not.
No.
No, it better end at like 10:30, 11 tops.
I get mad when I do a wedding and it doesn't get out till midnight. I'd be like, oh, you
That's like
know,
an hour in it. Like
yeah, I
I
still
could have
gotta
been in
drive
bed,
home.
take my shoes off.
Yeah, that's the stage of life I'm in. And it's not to say that I wouldn't maybe do, yeah, like if they, I don't know, did a one night only thing type reunion. Yeah, I'll get involved with that. But if you're like trying
That'd have
to
been
open
fun, but
up,
hopefully it'll start at
you're
7
gonna have
o'clock.
to add a few extra $100 than you paid me when I was 24 or
Yeah, and it
26.
goes from 7 to 9.
So yeah, it. I'm a different person now. We're different people now. So the to your point, the relationships that have sustained have evolved and changed with you. If it's one that's still kind of in that immature mindset, right? If we're, it's March, when is tax? April?
April.
Yeah. If it's March and we're all like, who you using for your tax person? We're talking about money, income, and thing. And someone who doesn't have a job is just sitting there playing a video game. It's like,
That
you're about to piss me off because
that is
I got to get my taxes done. I got to pay for those taxes. Oh,
like we're
get
the
up.
same.
And if we're the same age, especially if we're the same age,
yeah,
it's like,
it's vexing
yeah,
too, but because it's just like that's where we're at, but we're still keeping company with someone who is not there,
right.
and we're seeing potential wasted,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's irritating. It's
Yeah.
irritating.
So
yeah, our what we look for in a friend, I guess, is
we just named a whole bunch of shit. Do you know how to do your taxes, or at least who do you do your taxes with? Where
oh, we look for connections in which we can do business.
Yeah, well, we can do grown up stuff,
administrative things.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
But then also too, we're still in our creative bag, so I still connect with artists, people who are in the creative field. I'm still a Christian, so folks that I connect with spiritually. Folks who I travel with. I have a group of friends now who are grown and well in their careers and, black, brown, queer, who we travel, we do events across the country as groups sometimes, and it's a freaking blast.
Yo, yeah.
That's the stage I'm in now where forget the club. I want to go on a cruise.
Yeah, travel, have fun, get involved, like see cultures, like
go different places, do different things.
I see those photos, I'm like, God dang, it looks like so much fun.
Yeah, and it is. But a benefit usually I remember Craig, the writer on Fact Talk, talks about this all the time, that statistically, usually queer individuals, because they don't, have kids and those kind of things.
Y'all can do stuff.
Have a lot more expendable income.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... you should see this face that Leslie had. She'll be out the house soon and making her own money, and
out the house.
Yeah, and I will still be in my group, and I'm ready to usher you in with us, because it's some single mothers.
Really?
So right now we are as we're talking, you guys can't see, but I have a picture in my recording room of the guys from the cruise that I went on, but that's one of like many pictures. There's a few pictures with the full group, and there was 3 women on there. Of course, they're, well, and
would they like me?
Of course. Yes.
Yes.
And I know 2 of them are, I believe there's like single mothers, and they brought their kids and stuff.
They brought their kids?
And we had a freaking ball. Now, there was obviously points where we were separated around Peanut's age, and one of them, because they were in high school.
Older.
Yeah, they were in high school,
Oh,
and one was getting ready for college. I remember too.
okay. Because you
So
could just leave them and let them go wherever and
right,
not feel guilty
that's
because
right,
they probably don't want to hang out with
that's right, and we don't want to hang out with them. But yeah, you should be happy. Your mama then got you a ticket for
you.
the
Right?
cruise.
You
Enjoy
here.
it.
Now you go over there.
Right. I think that the
I'm going to have
girls.
mommy drink.
Right. Exactly. The girls who were in college or getting ready for college. No, they were in one. It was two of them, I think, that were in college because we went to Cozumel, Mexico. I believe that's how you say it.
Cozumel.
Cozumel. Help me, Jesus. And when we departed the cruise to go on land and went to another drinkery,
Wow.
the college age students who were of drinking age, I believe, came too.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
they
mean,
also had a separate thing for like adults and kids. And I remember the kids couldn't go over there. One of them tried to go on that side, and they like brought them. Someone came over there because we had that like the floating bar on our side. You know, the bar in the middle of the pool, and
I bet you can go
yeah,
over
this
there.
kid
I
tried to
dare
come
you.
over there and drink or
Just go over
something,
there.
and they caught his tail real quick. But not to stray too far from the point, but like
Yeah.
that's a good example of how you evolve over time. I would rather travel than go to a club, and I have found a group of people that agree with me, thank God. So we, don't have to be alone. But my grown ass would do this and will likely have a trip or two by myself. I did. I went
You
to
did. Yeah.
my 30s, 37th, 38th birthday. I took myself to California and spent a week there for my birthday and just took a rental car and traveled
in the wilderness.
For a quick second. That mountain drive.
You saw some mountains and some trees. But you were like amazed, right?
I was amazed at it. First of all, it was something that I wanted to do. I put a plan together to do it, but that's what I'm talking about when I talk about like the company that I keep now is in that alignment. Just like probably for you, you're having conversations with homeowners and
and people
property taxes and those kind of things.
Yeah, well, I can have conversations with those and like exchange notes and stuff like that. But where was I going with this?
We were talking about friends.
Yeah, for our friends, like
in this stage.
A lot of times we meet each other in common spaces of interests, and our interests change over the years too. So that also ended up making room for new friends and new connections as well. And that is also something that I have found once I got back into the theater. I had my friends from Second City who I need to reconnect with.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because you've got works that you're going to need a village to execute. So many
sketches that like I've just been sitting on.
It takes a village, and you have the resources.
Yeah, and I have
through your
partner
and through the Second City family. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, I miss them. I love them, and I just need to reach out more. But I think that to get back on the topic, what we looking for in a friend, like one thing that I usually look for is someone who can actually like keep calendar, who can plan things and execute those plans.
Okay.
I think that that's where I'm at like right now, as far as like people who I hold company with most. I don't want to keep calendar.
The theme I'm hearing is responsibility. The responsible individuals.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, responsible is a trait, but at the same time, it should be expected. To me, in my where I'm at right now,
at this stage in life,
no, like I'm closest with people who can like make plans and calendar, or the ones who want to learn how to do that. You know what I'm saying? And who is working towards that. People who just like totally are just off the cuff kind of. That gives me anxiety.
Off the cuff.
Just like
just show up and we're going to plan from
Pop-ins. Oh, what are you doing tomorrow at 7 a.m.? Like, waking up.
It's midnight.
Right, it's midnight. Like, don't. I, like, the people who I hold close are not going to be the ones who expect that I have to go out and make plans with them outside of a 72-hour window.
Right. Because that whole midnight.
And then be okay with me saying no, knowing that I do a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I keep a schedule for myself. And it's just like, you know, we have to plan dates.
Yeah.
And for like my friend group, my Divorced Wives Club, that's what we do. We calendar, or we check our calendars to see when we're all available so that we can all hang out. So yeah, responsibility, but I think that the main thing, a lot of the ones who I like lean towards in like new friendships are the ones who understand plans.
Period. I put that under like a category of response. I know you said that's different, but or a different category to put that in, but I categorize that as like a responsible person, because I feel like when I'm talking about like a 20-year-old, it's like you don't have responsibility, bills, things that you're responsible for, that you have to, you know, answer for, or it won't get done, which means someone gets affected, whether it be yourself or another individual. Like you don't have that on your plate. But I
was
do.
like that in my teens. Like I always was in a planner.
Oh,
maybe it's just like more evident
that may have
now.
been a thing for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a thing. But
I wasn't in most. I don't think most kids like kept a schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was always like that, but now it's more evident to me. Like, okay, we're at the stage in our life right now.
Yeah.
You know, where if you're not busy and if you don't have enough to do, please don't expect me
right
to come through. Like, yeah, that's probably me thing, but I guess like there's, yes, my friends now have a certain level of responsibility,
right,
that I also have.
That's right.
Not exactly have, but you know, a lot in common.
Yeah, for sure. So as we begin to wrap up, you got anything going on right now? Any shows, any plays, any gigs? Let's talk about it.
Okay. So right now I am in rehearsals for the Violet Surprise Theater Company's production of The Revolutionists.
Okay. Is that an original or?
It is an original play, I think by Lauren Gunderson. And it takes place in the French Revolution.
A period piece.
It is.
Yes, I love a good period piece.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a cool costume. We're all going to have cool costumes, and it's going to be fun. It's kind of like one of those dark comedies.
We love a good dark comedy.
Yeah, right? It's going to be great.
And given it's a period piece, I know the last period piece I saw you in, Outside of Doubt, had really dope choreography. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, you get to see a Sierra back bend.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to have to take some of that sour sop. That's coming. I'm going to get my package tomorrow.
You already ordered?
I sure
did. You order
did.
from Liquid Bins, or did you find another company?
I found it through another company because I'm just like, I need it now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it was only like 12 cents more.
Okay.
Yeah. So nice. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to try it because I want to try it right away. It's 16 ounces. I can get through that. And then if I love it, then obviously I'm going to go direct and maybe do a subscription. I don't know.
Pay more attention to the effects of it and less to how it tastes, because it's terrible.
Well, I mean,
Soursop bitters. It's all in the
If
name.
it works,
Sour and bitter in one word, in like one title. Yeah, you should know.
yeah, if it if it works, I probably wouldn't even care if it smelled bad. You know what I'm saying? Medicine is medicine.
Yes, give us
Especially
back our
since
knees.
it's all, oh my God, the way you dropped it. Come on, Megan Knees.
Yes, Megan knees. Since I've been taking the soursop, it's only been 4 days. My knees feel totally different. I personally right now feel great, but like my knee, that was the biggest thing. I didn't realize there was so much inflammation in the knees, but thank God for, Craig, the writer Stewart, in fact, talk and him being so open and sharing with the thing. Because, a lot of people can gatekeep that stuff.
Yeah,
it's
right.
just like, oh, how'd you get this? Or I just go to the gym, you liar.
Right. They gate kept Ozempic so hard. Like,
it's out there now. No.
Yeah, it's out. And we know
it was
now.
out there before.
It was way out there. Yeah.
We're gonna get into another thing. What else you got going on?
Let's see. Nothing. Nothing that right now. Yeah. Maybe like I know later on I'll have probably more to talk about. Yeah. But for right now, we're just in rehearsals for the show, and then once we get things finalized, and I'll plug some dates later on.
Nice. Okay. Want to know what I'm doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're drinking this raspberry beer. Yeah. It's so good.
I'm so glad like the fruit boy. I was like, it makes you quiet.
Yes. yes.
But yeah, Jane, what do you got going on?
Well, this time next week, I'm going to be doing my 40th birthday shoot. Woo! I am so excited about that. Yes, that's all I'm going to say about that. There's some looks that I am excited to execute. So that's coming. Also, November 8th, I'm helping my friend Sally. She's doing a fundraiser based upon my friend Sally who does the Amy Winehouse tribute.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is, and I'm trying to pull up the info right now, but her day job is working with children, teaching them kind of music and sounds. And I believe the children are differently able, right? Mm-hmm. To some degree or some capacity, right? So she is doing like a benefit concert, and I'm going to be helping with that. That is, I think by the time this gets released, it may have already passed, because that's supposed to be for November 8th, which is a day before my 40th.
You'll enjoy yourself, especially now that your knees work.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got my knees back, at least for right now. Like I said, it's only been 4 days, but with feeling the changes, I'm trying to take full advantage. I did a whole leg workout that I hadn't done in a while, just to see what this is really about, and it was good. But yeah, you can follow on Instagram Amy Tears Tribute to get the details of the fundraiser. November 8th, Rock the Town for Hearing. That's the name of it. Mm-hmm. It funds programs like Music to My Ears, which is a program that my friend Sally leads. So yeah, if you follow that Instagram, I believe there's a website too, fhsr.org/rock-the-town-for-hearing.
Say it again.
www.fhsr.org/rock-the-town-for-hearing. Period. Well, don't put a period in there.
Yeah, no period. Yeah.
But it'll probably be easier just to find her Instagram, Amy's Tears tribute is if you do a hashtag Amy's Tears tribute, it'll come right up. So those are the things that are immediately coming up for me.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait for those photos, but I think we're about at that time. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoyed what you heard, and this is your hopefully soon to be favorite uncle and auntie.
But we ain't playing. Yeah.
All right, we out of here.